Welcome, everyone. So, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take one of the very first phrases you ever learn in Mandarin, a simple classroom hello, and we're going to treat it like an archaeological dig. We're going to go way beyond just memorizing the words and really uncover the layers of history, culture, and honestly, the linguistic poetry that's hidden right there in plain sight. So, let's get started.
You know, there's this old Chinese proverb that I think just perfectly captures what we're trying to do here. It's not just about learning to speak, it's about learning to see. Think about it. Every single character, every tone is like another pane of glass in this new window, and it offers a totally different perspective on the world. So, what can a simple hello show us through that window? Well, let's find out.
I'm sure you've all done role-playing in your language classes. It's a fantastic tool, right? But the real challenge isn't just about reciting your lines perfectly for memory. Our goal today is to get you to understand the rich context behind those lines, so that when you speak, you're not just making sounds, you're actually communicating with real, genuine understanding.
Okay, so here's our case study for today. Looks incredibly simple, doesn't it? A student greets a teacher and the teacher responds. The student says, 老师好, and the teacher replies, 你好. But wait a minute. Why does the student use the teacher's title? Why not just say hello? What kind of deep, profound ideas are packed into these three little syllables? That is our central question.
To answer that question, we have to start where the language itself begins, with the characters. We're about to do a little bit of linguistic archaeology. We're going to break this greeting down into its most basic parts and see what they reveal about the mindset that created them.
Our analysis has to start with the first two characters the student says, 老师. Now, if you look this up in a dictionary, it's just going to tell you it means teacher. Simple enough, right? But in Mandarin, the story is almost never that simple. The real meaning isn't just in the definition, it's actually built into the very structure of the characters themselves. Let's break this down. As you can see, Lao Shi is made of two characters. The first one, Lao, means old, but it's packed with these powerful connotations of being venerable, of being respected. The second one, Shi, means master or expert. So when a student says Lao Shi, the literal meaning that's embedded in the word is venerable master. It's not just a job title, it's an expression of deep inherent respect, built right into the word.
All right, next up we have the character hao. This is probably one of the first words any of you learned, and it's usually translated as good or well. And that's correct. But the story of why this character means good is, well, it's truly beautiful.
And this is one of my favorite examples of the pictorial logic in Chinese characters. Look closely. Hao is actually a combination of two separate characters squished together. On the left, we have nu, which means woman, or more specifically, mother. And on the right, we have zi, which means child or son. So think about that. The ancient creators of this language decided that the very image of goodness, the visual definition of good, was a mother holding her child. It's pure poetry embedded in language.
So we've deciphered the characters. Venerable master, you are good. But this is only half the story. See, understanding the words is one thing. Understanding why you have to use them in a specific situation is something else entirely. And this takes us out of pure linguistics and drops us right into culture, where we have to explore why this specific phrasing is so incredibly important.
And this is the critical question, isn't it? In many Western cultures, it might be pretty common for a university student to eventually call a professor by their first name. But in a Chinese context, addressing a teacher with just ni hao, or even worse, by their given name, well, that would be a huge social mistake. So why is that?
This is an absolutely crucial point. Using the title Lao Shi is a fundamental act of social etiquette. It explicitly acknowledges the hierarchy of the classroom. It recognizes the teacher's age, their position, and their expertise. It's not about being cold or distant, it's about showing the proper respect. If you were to skip the title, it would be like ignoring their status, which could easily come across as really rude or even arrogant. For any of you planning to work or study in a Chinese-speaking environment, this isn't just a language tip. It's a critical tool for building good, respectful relationships.
Okay, we've analyzed the meaning, we've explored the culture. Now we have to address the music of the language, the tones. Because saying the right words is pretty much useless if you say them with the wrong melody. It's the proper pronunciation that makes your carefully chosen words actually understood.
So let's map out the tonal melody of Lao Shi Hao. Lao is a third tone, that's a dip and a rise. Shi is a high flat first tone, and Hao is another third tone. So the pattern sounds like this: Lao, Shi, Hao. Go ahead, say it with me. Lao, Shi, Hao. Now, that dip and rise of the third tone is often the trickiest part for new learners, so let's really focus on that for a second.
Let's really break down that third tone. Imagine you're tracing it with your voice. You start in the middle of your range, then you dip your voice down low, and then you rise back up again. It's kind of like a scoop. Lao, hao. Try it. Really feel that contour, that scoop in your voice. I promise you, mastering this one tone will dramatically improve your accent.
Now, we've got to talk about a crucial pronunciation rule called tone sandy. This is basically a rule where tones actually change their sound based on the tones that come after them. The absolute classic example is ni hao. Now, on paper, both of those are third tones, but saying two of those dipping tones back to back is really clunky, so the rule changes the first one to a rising second tone. Instead of a clumsy ni hao, it flows into a much smoother ni hao. This isn't some obscure grammar rule, it's a fundamental part of spoken Mandarin you will use constantly.
Okay, let's tackle two very common mistakes I hear all the time. For Lao, students often forget the dip. They just make it a flat sound like Lao, or a rising sound. That's not right. You have to have that dip, Lao. For she, the English speaker's instinct is just to say she. But the Mandarin she sound is what we call retroflex. It just means your tongue should be curled back a little bit, lightly touching the roof of your mouth. It's not she, it's she, she. The difference might seem subtle, but it's crucial for clear pronunciation.
All right. We have deconstructed the characters, we've explored the cultural significance, and we've practiced the phonetics. Now, it's time to put all of those pieces back together and see our simple little phrase in a completely new light.
Let's go back to our original phrase. I want you to listen to it one more time, lao shi hao. When you say that now, you're not just reciting syllables anymore. You are consciously choosing a term of deep respect, venerable master. You're using a word for good that's rooted in that beautiful image of a mother and child, and you're delivering it all with a precise, musical, tonal melody. You are, in short, speaking with understanding. And this, right here, is the core lesson today. True fluency isn't about who has the biggest vocabulary. It's about understanding the why behind the what. It's about knowing the history, the culture, and the logic that brings the language to life. When you understand that, you stop being a student who is just reciting, and you become a speaker who is truly communicating. Think about it. We spent this entire session on just 2 words. If a simple hello can hold this much history, this much culture, and this much logic, just imagine the world of meaning that's waiting for you in every other conversation, in every single new character you learn. Your journey into the real heart of the language has only just begun.